Hi, Mike DePong here. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you're here because you see the title of this and you realize, hey, there are some things I'd like to think about. And as I said in my last video, we don't do enough of that for ourselves in this day and age. That is to think clearly. But it's not just thinking clearly, it's to think with the input of our environment. It's of to think with the input of our heart, not ego that has to be right, that has to compete, that has to win, but with heart that desires to enjoy all of this creation, to enjoy one another, to enjoy who we are, who you are, individually. I hope that's maybe why you're here. And these series of videos I'm doing um, are to promote the book that I released a few weeks ago now, The Wisdom, The Trees Whisper Wisdom. And I went through the invocation, the first poem of this book, and I want to read another one today. And I would like to share with you a little bit about how I think about it, how I'm thinking about it. I'm not going to go through it as exactly as I did that first poem that I did two videos on, but I want to read this and then I'm going to make a few comments, maybe ask a few questions. Always ask questions of yourself and then listen for the answer of your heart because your heart always has answers. Decide, choose that you want to hear the wisdom of the spirits of nature, of their spirits from other realms. And it's kind of senseless to think, and to me, that there aren't other realms that we don't often consider. Many people do. Many people enter into religious pursuits because they know somewhere deep inside and somewhere beyond them that other realms exist. If you're a devout Christian, heaven is another realm. Hell is another realm. And I won't say anything about the validity of either one of those things, but to say we can choose our own happiness and joy and understanding and wisdom here and now. And we can have the help of other realms that are all about us, the spirits of nature, the spirits of um, ascended beings, of other beings that are about as magical beings of this middle world. They're there. We've got to tune in. And the trees are there, and they have their spirits that communicate. And it's not with words like we're talking face to face with one another here, but it's with tuning in heart to their expression of heart. And that essence of heart is what binds all together and helps us to be able to navigate, to weave in between the realms, because the essence of that is love. And they, the trees, the spirit beings, they understand love sometimes much better than we do. And love, well, that's a whole nother thing. But I want to read this poem, and I would like to, like I said, make a few comments about it. And maybe it will help you in these very troubled times when lies are told by those who are supposed to be leaders as easily as water flows down the Mississippi River. They just, it seems lying and hatred and a desire to oppress and to force everybody to think the same and feel the same and be the same, all to maintain power, control, and wealth. We miss out. This poem that I want to read to you from my collection, The Trees Whisper Wisdom, has to do with that. See what you catch of this, and I'm just going to read through the whole poem and then make a few comments. The poem is entitled Holding Hands. Pines wave high above the forest floor, offering swishes of peace, calm, and clarity. Oak, walnut, cypress, and more all wave back with spirit wind. Of course, they all hold root-fingered hands, clenched beneath the forest floor, unbeknownst to the unobservant. Brash man in uniform and funny hat, to the spirits there at least, comes crashing into the fellowship of the trees. He makes notes. Too many pines, walnuts too close. Eliminate these plants strangling the money trees. Plenty of oaks, walnuts, pines for lumber harvesting. The trees understand nothing of this, nor does the forest. They live in balance and contentment, no intervention required. These humans would manage all the forest to make it thrive, to make it profitable, to make it useful to humans. Nobody asks the trees, the plants, the forest. Practical humans never consider spirits, those of trees, nor those of themselves. Trees could have told humans, we will work with you, honor us, and you honor yourselves. Then wise oak whispers with the help of spirit wind. Hatred, greed, and fear of lack never hear the wisdom of spirit. Such things plunge the holders headlong into creating more hatred, greed, and fear. No honor abides in these. The other trees advise the human. We are ancient, and our root fingers clasp one another in realms you have ignored to your own destruction. Hear your own heart as we hear ours. And the man in the uniform and funny hat drives away in his truck, never hearing but already calculating how much humans could profit, never realizing they were snatching their true wealth of spirit and tossing it away. And trees wave with help of spirit wind. Goodbye, goodbye. I wish there were enough people watching this and enough who would listen and perhaps get the book, the ebook, and read it and make some kind of comment about it. I would love to hear what you think. Of course, you can pause the video and make comments on parts of the poem that might be significant to you. The one thing I want to ask you today is um, when we look at the political scene, when we look at the debacle, the fiasco of what was called the State of the Union, was anything said about the spirits? Was anything said about nature? No, because those who are in power right now, who have control of things right now, more control, they are selling off. It's just like this man, this ranger here who comes to evaluate this little swath of forest. They are selling off the environment. They are selling off elements of nature that have spirit. And that's okay. We're meant to use some of them, but when we do it with honor, we do it with awareness. And so, do you think that we should listen more to the spirits? You know, a great, massive, powerful um, uh, literary time were the romantic writers, poets, especially of the British literature in British literature. And of course, then to follow a couple of decades later came the American romanticists and transcendentalists. And very similar. They knew the value of nature. They knew that spirit ran throughout all and could unite us, and that we could see reflections of ourselves and receive wisdom for ourselves from nature. And here's the one little stanza that really caught my eye. Nobody asks the trees, the plants, the forests. Practical humans never consider spirit, those of trees, nor those of themselves. Do you have any idea how much you miss out on, or how much I would miss out on if I didn't um, talk to the spirits, get to know the spirits, call to them? Again, in the first poem that I read to you from this collection, the oak says, invoke us, trees, call to us, and we will answer. But you need to tune in. You need to spend time. It's not rush, 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 because time is money and money, 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 and grab it and destroy everything we came here to enjoy. Don't do that, please. Get the book. Let's talk about it some. Join in the conversation with me, even if nobody else is responding. If it's just you, whoever you are that may decide to do this. And I hope that until next time, until next video, love and peace.